Hello, my children. It's Mother Nene, and today I'll be reading Ciel's sister, a Sebastian X reader. Please understand that Ciel's sister is older than him, so I hope that's okay. And also, this book does not belong to me, and I will link the author in the description below. Chapter 1, My Little Lord. You look up from your hands out of a large window in front of you, subconsciously began to rub your hands as they started to tingle, where your fingernails have left small red crescent-shaped marks on your soft, small hands. You're nervous. No, beyond nervous. You know that your mother was pregnant and that the baby was due soon, and you realize how that it hurt to have to give birth to a child at the 18th century. But why? It puts so much stress on you. You had no idea. A small gasp leaves your plump lips as you hear your mother shout in pain across the room next to you, and you began to bite your lip as if what ifs running through your mind. Sorry. What if something happens? What if the baby's hurt? What if something happens to Mother? You asked. As many other thoughts occurred, you finally reached your last and most feared. What if Mom doesn't? Yan, you lift your head up to the sound of the oh-so-familiar voice. Daddy? You shout as you run to him and grabbing onto his legs as if your life depended on it. My, what's wrong, Flower? Vincent asks as he lifts you up from his legs so he can see you face to face. To be honest, you didn't even realize that you were crying until a warm hand caressed your face, wiping away the freshly fallen tears. What's wrong, dear? You seem more nervous than your mother, he says with a small chuckle that vibrates in his chest, making you relax a little. Daddy, you say again, is Mommy okay? I heard a shout and I got scared. What would happen if Mommy... You started. Another group of tears began to fall from your eyes. Vincent chuckled before replying, Don't worry, sweetie. Mom is perfectly fine. In fact, it's all done. You looked up with large eyes. Really? Mommy's okay? Can I go see? Please? You beg, as Vincent smiles once again. Of course you can. Just be quiet, okay? Your mom is tired and the baby's sleeping. You nodded as you grab his hand and drag him through the door next to where you were sitting. You entered your parents' room to see your mom laying on the bed covered with fresh sheets. I wonder why. We just had them changed yesterday, you wondered silently. Why, Anne? You heard your mother's calming, metallic voice, and quickly running up to her, almost tackling her into a hug before remembering that what your father had just told you. Instead, you walked to her side and hugged her gently. It's okay, Flower. You don't need to be that gentle, she chuckles. You smile and move onto the bed, sitting next to her. You notice how tired she looks, but how she still has a bright light in her eyes, full of life and love. I can't take it any longer. I want to see him. You begin to get angsty as you look at your mom. You watched her smile up to your dad and give him a kiss. Ew, you say playfully. They pull away and laugh with you, knowing you are only joking. After a blissful moment of peaceful silence and asking Mom if she was really all right, she looked over to you with a small smile. Anne, would you like to hold him? She asks. You nod quickly and jumped up from your bed before taking your father's hands and following him over to your butler, Tanaka, who was holding a small bundle. Just be gentle. He's still asleep, Tanaka says, with a large smile. You had never seen Tanaka smile like this before. Just the thought made you giggle. The man bent down and handed you something wrapped in a small blue blanket. You carefully took it and hold it close to your chest, just as you remembered Mommy telling you so many months ago. The bundle, it was warm and soft, light but delicate, and it smelled amazing, like pure innocence in a field of flowers. You looked at You looked down, and the face you saw made your heart melt. It was your little brother that you were told so much about. How he would kick, how his mother and father tell him stories at night and sing him songs, how they'd slave away thinking of the perfect name for him. He began to shift in your arms, as well as a groan escaped his light pink lips. Hearing this made you giggle, and the newborn in your arms began to open his eyes. He didn't cry, nor did he make a sound when he saw you. He simply looked at you as you stared into his blue eyes, like sapphires, so full of life, just like yours. His eyes are so pretty. They're like your ring, Daddy, you almost whisper. Although your back is facing them, you can hear them both chuckle. Moyan, look out the window. You do as your father says, and you're met with the most beautiful blue sky you've ever seen. The brilliant blue, just like your baby brother's eyes. What are you going to name him? You ask them, turning to face your parents. Well, we were thinking, your mother starts, holding her husband's hands as she rests her head on his shoulder. Ciel. Ciel Phantom Hive. Vincent finishes. Ciel? That's French for sky, right? You question, remembering all the times you spent in French lessons. That is, my little flower, your father says. That's perfect, you say, walking to your parents, where you were then happy, embraced in a family group hug. You had never felt more happy, more at home, more at peace than that moment. You were a little upset when you found out you would no longer be the center of attention in the family, but then again, what three-year-old wouldn't? What 3-year-old wouldn't? It's now night. Your mother is out of bed, and your parents have just put Ciel in his crib. All right, Wayan, let's get you to bed now. It's past your bedtime, Vincent says. Yawning, you nod your head in agreement. Just 1 second. I need to say goodnight to Ciel first. Your father nods as you re-enter the nursery. Ciel, how you love that name. How it rolled off your tongue. Just the name itself just was perfect. You walked over to the now sleeping child in his crib and looked at his sleeping face. I may have not liked the idea a few hours ago, but now I would never let you go. I think I've liked you. You whispered, stroking his cheek lightly. I love you, Ciel. Sleep tight, my little lord, you say before kissing his head and walking out of the room to follow your parents to yours. You change into your nightdress and jump under the covers, your parents tucking you in as usual. Everything seemed perfect, so happy, so peaceful. If only the fire never had started. Okay, I hope you liked this chapter. I will post more of this if this is positive and you request any more. I do take requests, so don't be afraid to ask me, and I'll try to do my best to complete those requests. Remember, I have a Discord, so if you want to join that group, you can. The link will be in description, and remember the author's page will be in the linked in description as well. Goodbye, my children. Have a nice day and or night.